Hey Raiders, Jacko here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to do another installment on our beginner's tutorial series. Today we're going to look into every Raider's home. And by that I mean we're going to take a look at the Bastion here and go into each of the aspects of it and why they're important, what you'll be doing there, and some tips and tricks while you're going through your raid career. Also, we'll have something fun at the end when we get there. So, why don't we start off with the Tavern. Now, the Tavern is where you're going to spend a lot of time working on your champion. Specifically, these tabs over here. You've got upgrade level. This is pretty simple. You're just going to choose a champion. You're going to come down and find champions that you don't care about, or XP brews, which you do get quite a few of during your course as going through quests, event rewards, out a clan boss, just about anywhere. But you would essentially sacrifice and level them up. Pretty simple. You'll be doing that a lot, in all honesty. Next up is upgrade rank, which is probably the most important aspect of the Tavern, in all honesty. This is how we're going to take our lovely little, say, 4-star Ogren Jailer. We're going to give him chickens or other 4-star champions, and upgrade him from a 4-star to a 5-star champion. This increases his level limit, so he can go from level 40 to level 50 at max level. It's just going to increase their power overall. So when you hear people talk about 6-star champions, ranking them up, that's what they're talking about. They're using this upgrade rank system. Next up, we've got upgrade skills. Pretty simple. Choose a champion, give him books, and it'll change their skills and level up their skills. It's completely random which skills the books go into. Something to be aware of is that books are very rare. So be really careful about who you actually put books into. Does the champion really need the books, or can they operate without them? Let's say Haikatoon. I didn't even put a book in, I put a duplicate of her in to get this up to level 2, but for what I use her for, which is purely a speed boost in Arena, she only needs to do that once, so I don't need her to have cooldown reduction or anything along those lines. So, she is not someone to invest my valuable books on. Additionally, you've got legendary books here. Never use a legendary book on an epic or rare champion. You've got epic books. Never use an epic book on a rare champion. Rare champions, you have rare books. You'd think these would come really easily. They don't. They changed the system on how books drop from clan boss, and it means that rare books are just as valuable as epics and legendary books. So be careful who you use your books on. Decide whether or not this champion is A, going to really progress you, and B, if they're endgame worthy, and C, if they really actually need the books to do their job. Another good one here is Doom Priest. I have her at 6 stars, fully ascended, and not one of her skills has been increased because it's all about her passive. Next up, we've got Ascend. You use potions that you get out of the potion dungeons, which we will go over in another installment of this series, to turn their little gold stars into little pink or purple stars, however you want to look at that. Usually 3 stars ascended will get you one of their skills, will get better, essentially, or it'll unlock a skill, depending on the champion and everything along those lines. A trick and something you want to look out for as you're ascending. When you get someone to up to level 60, 6 stars, contemplate whether you really need that last ascension to open up your banner slot right then. The reason for this is actually in the missions. So there are missions here that will have you ascend a champion to 6 stars. Get that 6th ascension occur. I'm pretty sure they don't backdate, or they don't, it's not backwards compatible. In other words, if we look at one of my champions here, Like I've got Galek at, or let's do Doom Priest. I've got Doom Priest at a full 6 stars. When the mission comes up that I need to ascend a Force Champion up to 6 stars, it's not going to recognize this as having been something I've already done. So I'm gonna have to do it again. So if they don't need the banner, well, at the point in the game you're at, just hold off doing that 6th Ascension. It'll be beneficial to you in the long run. Next up, we've got our Great Hall. Great Hall is all about the arena. What I mean by that is the only way to increase your Great Hall attributes is by getting medals from the arena. Bronze medals from Bronze Tier Arena, silvers from Silver Tier Arena, and golds from Gold and Platinum Tier Arena. Now, the great thing about the Great Hall is that these attributes, let's take this one for example, at level 4, I'm getting plus 20 accuracy to every one of my Force Champions. Again, 40 accuracy to, or 20 accuracy to every one of my Magic Champions. It's across the board in every aspect of the game. This applies to all of your champions everywhere. So it's a really important thing to get into early. So don't neglect your arena fights at the beginning. Just go ahead and do them. And collect as many medals as you can. Sometimes it can be frustrating or tedious, but do it. It's well worth it. The question you have to ask yourself is where to start in the Great Hall. The two main ideas here are either going for accuracy, so you're landing your debuffs better, or for defense. People are split on this. I went with accuracy. I'm leaning towards defense at this point because survivability is a really important thing in every aspect of the game. So I'm moving towards utilizing defense and getting defense all the way up. You might do accuracy. It's really up to you in that regard. Pretty easy. Here we are at the Forge. The Forge is taking materials you get in the faction wars and making items. There are 2 sets in here that you really want to pay attention to as an early game player. And to get those materials, don't neglect your faction wars. Go ahead and go do them, even if you're just doing level 1 12 times because of the 12 keys, or 6 plus 12, 18 times if you're doing the advanced quest and get the advanced quest keys. Go ahead and do it because even 3 to 4 star gear is really useful. Your perception set here gives you plus 40 accuracy and plus 5% speed on a 2-piece set. This is just flat better than the accuracy set. Simple. The other one you want to look out for is the resilience set. Plus 10% HP and plus 10% defense. If you've got a defense-based or an HP-based champion that you're trying to build up, resilience is a great way to go. And since these two are 2-piece sets, you can utilize them in addition to a lifesteal set. So you're really building the survivability of your champion with the lifesteal set and adding on to it with either a resilience set or getting your debuff or the accuracy they need through the perception set. These are 2 really good things to do. Additionally, they've got these charms. You got a rank charm, chance of highest rank, chance of highest rarity, a type of item you get. Now these aren't assured, they just increase the chance a little bit. And then you've also got substat charms. So maybe you're trying for a gauntlet that has HP percentage on it. There you go. You toss those in. Maybe you want them ranked up. There you are. Hit the create, and ta-da! We have a pair of gauntlets that actually have HP percent as their primary. Interesting. But crit damage is a secondary, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star. Really nice and epic. I'm going to go ahead and keep that set. I'm very happy with that pull. So there you go. Pretty simple, pretty easy. A great way not only to get some of those sets, especially if you're not farming dungeons yet, to get like the accuracy set, high star, high rarity gear, but great to fill out whatever you're looking for. Additionally, look, I've got 635. I could make a ton of these and sell them and actually come out with a little bit of a profit. Not the best, but I could do it. Next up, down here, we've got the market. The market, you start off with like 6 or 8 of these unlocked, and then you can get farther down in by purchasing with gold and gems. I suggest you do. This is going to be a really good place for buying your commons and uncommon champions so that you can save your mystery shards for events. Like the event we just had. There was a summon rush. I had to use 1,000 mystery shards to get the fragment pieces I needed for the fragment summon. You can also find some nice pieces of gear here. A Kyrian set. I said nice. I did not pull up a nice one. Kyrian set's pretty terrible. But there can be epic, there can be legendary, there can be 5-star gear. So well worth it. Also, if you saw, I purchased a mystery shard. Occasionally there are ancient shards in here. I think you get 4 a month that you can purchase ancient shards in the market. So really good to go ahead and open up all those slots. Don't ever refresh. It refreshes in an hour itself, and the gear and the champions are not that worthwhile. Don't waste your gems. They're much more valuable elsewhere. Next up, we have the gem mine. So the gem mine starts out at 500 gems to open it, and then 500 to rank it once, and 500 to rank it again. So a total of 1,500 gems to get you essentially 1 gem every hour and 36 minutes. The gem mine is a very solid investment if you plan on playing the game for more than about 60 days. That's when it pays itself off and you're into pure profit. It's a nice way to just get a steady amount of gems coming into your account. So if you plan on playing for more than 60 days, invest in the gem mine. It's well worth it. Speaking of investment, there's the Sparring Pit. Now this is a much more difficult choice. Each of the slots is going to take 300 gems to unlock, and at level 1, depending on the star rank of the champion in the slot, they give you a certain amount of XP per hour. These two are both 5-star champions, and they're getting me 2,400 XP. Now, if you want to know the math, I'm going to go through the math here. If you don't want to know the math, just know that if you're not going to be playing for at least 60 days, honestly longer than that, because you're probably not going to be leveling them up, and they stop gaining XP if they're ready to level. So probably 70, 80, 90 days in reality, then this is not worth unlocking. Math-wise, the Sparring Pit gives you 2,400 XP per hour on a champion times 5 slots. You're looking at approximately, I did it times 3 slots, 24, 40, no, I just wrote it down wrong. So 2,400 XP, 5 slots, you're looking at 12,000 XP per hour. 12,000 XP hour by 24 hours, you're looking at 288,000 XP per day. Now, to look at the equivalent cost, let's look at buying energy. So for 1,500 gems, which is the cost it would take to unlock all 5 slots, you're looking at 37.5 energy refills. If you're up to 150 energy, which even I'm not, that equates into 5,625 energy. 5,625 energy used at 8 energy per run in 12.3 of Brutal gets you 704 runs. 704 runs at 8,000 XP per run. So we're looking at it, if you have EXP boosts on all the time, you're looking at 5,632,000 XP. 5,632,000 XP by 3 champs, which is the 3 food champs you're going to do while running a campaign, so leveling up your food, gives you approximately 17 million XP. So 17 million XP divided by 288,000 XP per day, you're looking at 59 days to make back your gem investment in the Sparring Pit. Is it worth it? You really got to ask yourself how long you're going to be playing. As you can see, I've only unlocked 2. I haven't felt the need to unlock the rest of them myself. So that's the math. If you'd like, I can put it in the comments below. Just let me know if you would like the math and all. But just keep in mind what you're getting there. And I did the math using the full EXP boost. So if you don't have an EXP boost going, you're going to get less experience from those runs, which means you're looking at more days. Actually, yeah. So that's the Sparring Pit. Next up, we've got down here, we've got missions, quests, and challenges. So missions are a series of 4 sets of missions that will eventually lead you to get Arbiter, who is a great legendary champ. There are all kinds of missions. Win 1 superior magic potion from stage 10 or higher of the magic key. Upgrade a champion to level 60. Reach silver 3 in classic arena, so on and so forth. This is a really good roadmap of your game, of your account. Follow it. I mean, try and do your missions. When you get to a point where you can't do one, that's when you're going to want to be looking at working on your account, working on your champions and everything to the point where you can do it. The most annoying are these potion ones because the potion keeps only come around once every 4 days or so on. So you can't just barrel through them all. Quests. Quests are pretty simple. You've got daily quests, weekly quests, monthly quests, and advanced quests. While you're going through, always do all of your daily quests every day. You get great materials, you get energy refills. It's just a really good thing. Keep up on your weekly quests, keep up on your monthly quests. You get void shards, you get sacred shards, you get ancient shards. And you get things like EXP boosts. You also get some energy weekly and things like that. Keep up on them. They're not very difficult. I mean, upgrade 1 artifact to level 12, summon 25 champs. These aren't things that are going to be a difficulty. Monthly, again, keep up on your monthlies. These are a little bit more difficult, like upgrade 2 artifacts to level 16. When it comes to the advanced quests, you've got this chart up here, or this gauge. The number of quests you do gets you these different items. A 5-star chicken, an epic tome, a legendary tome. This is one of the major ways to get epic and legendary tomes while you're in the early game. You're not hitting Nightmare or Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, things like that. So keep up on these. Also, you can get Faction War keys, you can get more Tag Team Arena tokens, and you get some energy as well. So do as many of these as you can. There are some that you're just not going to be able to pull off sometimes. Like, defeat 1 Faction Wars boss. If you don't happen to be on a day where you've got a really good team for the Faction Wars, you're just not going to be able to complete that one, and therefore not get all of these done per day. There are even days I still have trouble getting all of these done, depending on what the specific items are. So, something to keep in mind. One of the tricks, and I'll go over this when I do the masteries as well, is that one of the advanced quests is to unlock a mastery on a champion. So, what you do is you find a champion you may level up at some point, but that has no masteries on them. Put them on a team with people who have at least level 3 or above masteries already, and then fight the Minotaur at the level that only gives you the lowest classification of scrolls, but the highest number. So that point where you're going from only getting the lowest classifications to the point where you're getting the next tier up and the lowest. The scrolls are going to go to the one guy that doesn't have the lowest classification of scrolls, and you'll be able to do that very quickly. I just learned this and kick myself for the amount of energy I use trying to do that advanced quests other ways. So that's pretty much everything except the portal, and this is where we get to our fun. So the portal is where you summon champions. Mystery shards, ancient shards, void shards, sacred shards. There are a series of events that come up every weekend. It's either a 2-time summon event, which means that if we look at our info here, you've got these chances of pulling something. So every 2 weeks, there'll be a 2 times event, either ancient, void, or sacred, which increases the chance of getting epics or legendaries by twice. So if it's a 2 times ancient, you're looking at 16% chance to get an epic and 1% to get a legendary. If you're looking at a 2 times sacred, you're looking at 12% to get a legendary. So that happens every other week on the weekend, and it goes, if I remember, ancients to Sacreds to Void, Ancients to Sacreds to Void, in recurring order. On every off week, you have a 10 times summon event, which means that these percentages don't change, but if you happen to pull an epic or a legendary, you have a 10 times chance of pulling the stated champions for that 10 times event, and they're random. Not actually random. I mean, Plarium goes through and decides on them, but and sometimes there are themes, like this last weekend was for the brand new champions that came out. So Ursula the Mourner and things like that. But note that these chances do not change. Your epic and legendary chance does not change. All that changes on the 10 times event is how likely you are to get that specific champion. I got really lucky, and in a 10 times event, I pulled Stagnite. It was one of the best uses of my ancient shards at the time. That being said, for a free-to-play player, I'd very much advise you to hold on to your shards until it's a 2 times event, so that you've got much better chances of pulling those epics, pulling those legendaries. Now, additionally, that's your shard summons. You've got fusions. Fusions are using smaller or less rare, lower rarity heroes leveled and ascended to fuse into higher level heroes. In this case, this is to get the epic Relic Keeper at some point. You can fuse War Maiden, Diabolist, whatever her name is, and Eris. Who is this? Anyways. And that'll get you Justicar. You can then use Executioner, Templar, and Sorceress to get up to Relic Keeper. Now on this particular fusion, fusing Justicar is the end of the second stage of missions. I don't know if it backtracks. So if I had fused Justicar before I got to that mission, I don't know if it would have given me credit for the mission. All the sources I can find are incredibly conflicting. So if you don't need Justicar, just hold on to it till you get to that mission. Additionally, with Relic Keeper, you don't need Relic Keeper. Just hold on to it until you get to that mission. While you're going through summoning and everything, keep an eye out for the heroes for Scarhide. Razin Scarhide is a great champion, and you'll want to fuse him when you can. Just keep an eye out for the champions you need. Hold on to them. Make sure you use that little lock button we looked at in the Anatomy of a Champion to make sure that you don't use them for something else. And eventually work your way up to fuse Scarhide. Razin Scarhide. Finally, you've got Broadmaw. Uses uncommons up into rares to finally fuse Broadmaw. Problem is that they are void rares, so they're going to be hard to come by, especially these two. Do you need Broadmaw? That's going to be between you and your account and what you pull on your void pulls, really. The final piece, and where we get to our fun, is the Fragment Summon. Now, Fragment Summons are pieces that you get for a certain champion. These almost always come out in events, and if you look at Burgoth the Malfoyant here, I was able to get 60 fragments of the 100 I would need to fuse him, to summon him. The only way to get more fragments after the event has ended is by paying Plarium exorbitant amounts of money to get like 5 fragments. So, when a fragment event comes up, take a good look at the hero. Take a good look at the resources you've built up and decide, can you push to get to it? I did this time for Iron Brago. I got my 100. In fact, I just finished it last night at the time of this recording. And on the channel, this will be my absolute first fragment summon, and I'm going to do it with you all. So let's get Iron Brago here. That's a really cool graphic. I love the chrysalis breaking out there, and then we get the lightning strike of gold for Iron Brago. Iron Brago is a really solid champion, and I will be doing a guide on him in a little while. Well, once I get him up to at least level 50 and everything. He's one that I am going to invest books in, and when I do the guide, we'll talk about that. But since aesthetics is a part of the channel, let's go ahead and go over Iron Brago's kit here. So down here at the bottom, we've got his greaves, which are nicely articulated, looking good, defense. We have no idea what his upper leg armor is because he's got a very long drape. If this is heavy leather, it looks like it's also got some metal barding and everything. That's really protective. Very nice. He's got a good gut protection here. And between it and the chest armor, his kidneys and vital organs are protected. The piece here is going to get a little bit in the way if he bends forward a lot, but you get around that. So great waist, great chest piece, nicely articulated there. The vambraces are wonderful. I love the chain motif here. It's great. The spikes are not going to get in the way. He's going to lose his hands like every other champion, it seems. Gauntlets, people. I mean, come on, gauntlets. They're not hard to wear. They're not hard to use. Just wear gauntlets, for crap's sake. All right. I'm good. I can breathe again. Anyways, up to the pauldrons, a little overstated. And by a little, I mean a lot. But a little for this game. The bent up piece here is an interesting thing. It's probably so it doesn't stab him in the neck. He's still going to run it into his helm occasionally. He's going to get all sorts of things caught on that wide portion. I mean, that's just going to be in his way. But in compared to some other champions, these aren't all that bad. In terms of the helm, it's a very interesting helm. It's got good protection, provided that these chains are interlaced in such a way that they move together. It's actually got really good protection, even for the back of his head and everything. And all. He's got the same wings and issues with wings that a lot of the champions does. He's going to run his own blade, or well, hammers in this case, into them. Other people are going to be running into them. He's going to get whiplash just from having his head jerked around by other people's weapons because of these wings. That being said, they're kind of cool looking. These things on the back, I have no idea what they're for. Not a clue. Maybe he carries, it's something to hook his backpack on? I have no idea. They're honestly ridiculous. That's just crazy. Decoration-wise, I love the trophy skulls hanging off of his belt. He's got, looking at it, I would guess that's a trophy from a dwarf champion that he has just attached to his belt here. Really nicely engraved, embossed, however tooled. Skulls on the shoulder guards, some coins here, more trophies I'm guessing. Again, nice blue gems here, probably from High Elves. I love the aesthetic of all of this. So in regards to his armor, I'm going to give him kind of 2 ratings here. Functionality, he's only going to get a 3 gourd because that helmet is terrible. He's got no upper arm protection. He's going to lose his hands. But he's got really good chest and leg armor. So really middle there. Pure aesthetics, all fantasy, no functionality. I got to give him a 5 gourd for that. So 3 for functionality, 5 for pure awesomeness. When it comes to his weapons, he's got heavy, flaming maces. That's really cool. I have no idea how the heat doesn't travel down and burn the crap out of him. They are sized in proportion to the point where if he's a strong orc, which he looks like he probably is, he could wield them very well. So all in all, I'm going to give Brago's weapons a 5 gourd. Badassitude. I mean, we've already stated I have a thing for orcs. It's a personal thing. He's got the skulls. He's got this beautiful chain motif on the forearms and on the drape. I have got to give this intimidating, badass orc a 5 on badassitude. He's phenomenal. So, all in all, aesthetics, how our Iron Brago looks on the field as he's coming barreling down at you to put a dent in your helm and your head, I'm going to give Brago a 4 gourd. So, thank you again for joining me on Jacko's Raider Rants. If you enjoyed the content, please like, subscribe, and toll that bell. And what do you think about Iron Brago? His aesthetics? Let me know in the comments. Additionally, if you have any tips or tricks that I forgot in concerns to the Bastion and the aspects of the Bastion here, please list those in the comments. I would love to get these videos to be the big, great, holy grail of beginning tutorials for newer players. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time.